Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to English Listen Easy channel. I am Jack.
And I am Emma. So happy you are here with us today.
Emma, how are you feeling this morning?
Honestly, a little tired. I stayed up too late last night watching a show.
The same show from last week?
The same show. I cannot stop. Every episode ends at a very exciting moment, and I just have to watch the next one.
We talked about this in our last episode, actually. Finding a show you love in English.
And I found one. Maybe too good of a show, because now I cannot sleep.
That is a success story with one small problem.
Exactly. Okay, I am here. I have coffee. Let's go.
Good. And actually, before we start the topic, I want to mention something to our listeners. We have a really simple and useful idea at the end of today's episode. No test, no app, no money. Just one thing you can do in 5 minutes to check your real English level. So today's topic: what is your current English level?
And this sounds like a simple question, but I think it is actually quite complicated.
It is more complicated than most people think.
Because most people, when you ask them their English level, they say something like beginner or intermediate or advanced. But what does that actually mean?
Right. What does intermediate mean exactly? How do you know if you are intermediate?
And is the level you think you are actually accurate?
Wait, accurate. Can you explain that word?
Oh, yes. So accurate means correct, matching reality, no mistakes, no guessing. Like if you say, it's going to rain today, and it rains, your prediction was accurate. It matched what really happened.
So, when we talk about your English level, is your idea of your level accurate? Does it match reality?
Exactly. And for a lot of people, the answer is no. Their idea does not match reality, but in both directions.
What do you mean, both directions?
Some people think they are worse than they really are. They say, oh, my English is terrible, but actually they communicate quite well.
And some people think they are better than they really are.
And some people think they are better than they are, yes, which can be a surprise when they find out.
A sometimes painful surprise.
Sometimes quite painful, yes.
Okay, so let me ask you, do you know your English level? Like right now, what would you say?
That's such a hard question to answer honestly, because it depends on what I'm doing.
What do you mean?
Like, my reading level is quite good. I can read articles, books, longer texts without too much trouble. But my listening in difficult situations, like very fast speakers with strong accents, that's harder for me.
So you're not one level, you're different levels for different skills.
Exactly. And I think most people are like this. You might be B2 in reading and B1 in listening and A2 in speaking if you're nervous.
A2 in speaking when nervous is very relatable.
Very relatable. Your level goes down when you're stressed or tired or surprised.
Which means your level is not really a fixed number. It moves.
It moves all the time, depending on the situation, depending on the topic, depending on how you're feeling that day.
Which makes it very hard to say, I am exactly B1.
Right, because B1 on a Tuesday morning with coffee is different from B1 at a job interview when your hands are shaking.
That is so true. Okay, so tell me, have you ever taken an official English test, like a real one?
I have, once, and it was an interesting experience.
What happened?
So I took a test maybe 3 years into learning English, and I thought I was intermediate, solidly intermediate. I felt good about my English at that point.
Confident.
Very confident. And I sat down for the test, and the first part, reading, went really well. I finished it quickly. I felt great.
Okay, and then?
And then came the listening section, and the audio was so fast, and some of the accents were difficult, and I started making mistakes. A lot of mistakes.
Oh no.
And then the speaking section, which I hadn't practiced much because I thought, I speak English, I'll be fine.
Was it fine?
It was not fine. I got nervous, my mind went blank, I said things that didn't make sense, I used the wrong words, I felt like a complete beginner.
And the result?
The result was lower than I expected. Not terrible, but lower. And I sat there looking at it, thinking, but I know English. How is this my score?
Because knowing English and performing under test pressure are two different things.
Very different things. And the test showed me something accurate, that my different skills were at very different levels, and I had been ignoring the weak ones.
Because we naturally focus on what we're good at.
Always. Reading was comfortable, so I did a lot of reading. Speaking was uncomfortable, so I avoided it.
And the test showed exactly that.
Exactly that, which was uncomfortable to see, but actually very useful.
Okay, I have a story too, and mine is a little embarrassing. So I was at a point in my learning where I felt really good. I could watch shows in English with English subtitles and understand most of it. I could read articles, I could write emails. I thought, I'm advanced, clearly advanced.
Clearly advanced, Jack.
Clearly. So I joined an online conversation group, real people, native speakers, and advanced learners, video calls every week to practice speaking.
Oh, that sounds good, actually.
It was a good idea, but the first call, Emma, the first call was a disaster.
What happened?
Everyone was speaking so fast, and they were using expressions I had never heard, and they were making jokes and laughing, and I had no idea what was funny. And I just sat there, smiling, nodding, like I understood everything.
The nod. We talked about the nod in a previous episode.
The terrible nod. And at one point, someone asked me a direct question, and I had not been following the conversation properly, and I said, "Sorry, could you repeat that?" And they repeated it, and I still did not fully understand, and I just said, "Yes, I agree."
You agreed to something you did not understand again?
Again, it's a pattern with me, apparently.
What did you agree to this time? Another cold dinner?
No, thankfully, I think I agreed that the book they were discussing was good, which was safe enough.
Safe agreement.
A very safe one. But after the call, I sat there and thought, I'm not advanced. I'm not even close to advanced. I completely overestimated myself.
And how did that feel?
Honestly, a little bad at first, but then kind of good, because suddenly I knew exactly what I needed to work on. Fast spoken English, expressions, jokes, the kind of language people use when they're relaxed and talking naturally.
So the humbling experience was actually useful.
Very useful. It was the most accurate picture of my real level that I had ever seen, better than any test.
Because it was real. Real people, real conversation, no preparation.
No preparation at all. Just, here's English in real life. How are you doing?
And the answer was, not as well as I thought.
Not as well as I thought. But now I knew, and knowing is the first step.
Okay, listeners, quick pause here. If you're enjoying this episode, please share it with a friend who is learning English, and subscribe if you haven't done that yet. We really appreciate it.
Okay, I want to talk about the level system because a lot of people mention A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2, and I think most people don't really know what those mean.
They hear B1 and they think, okay, that sounds like the middle. But what does B1 actually look like in real life?
Exactly. So let's just talk about it simply, without making it a lesson.
Okay, so A1 and A2 is the beginning. You can say hello, introduce yourself, talk about simple things. Your name, your job, your family. Simple present tense mostly.
And it feels very slow, very limited, like you're always searching for words.
Like you're building each sentence one brick at a time.
One slow brick at a time, yes.
B1 is where things start to open up. You can have real conversations. You can talk about your day, your feelings, your plans. You understand most of what people say to you in normal situations.
But fast speech, strong accents, complex topics, still hard.
Still hard, but you can get by. You can communicate most of the time.
And B2, that's where you start to feel comfortable. You can watch shows and understand most of it. You can read articles. You can have longer conversations without getting too tired.
The big jump from B1 to B2 is comfort. At B1, you can do it. At B2, you can do it without exhausting yourself.
And C1 and C2, that's near native level. You can do almost everything a native speaker can do. Understand jokes, understand fast speech, read difficult texts, write well.
And most learners are somewhere between A2 and B2 for most of their learning journey.
Which is a wide range, and it's different for every skill.
As we said, you can be B2 in reading and B1 in speaking, or A2 in writing and B1 in listening.
Your level is not one number. It's a collection of different numbers for different skills.
And the most accurate way to know your level is to test each skill separately.
Not just do one general test and call it done. And I want to say something about why knowing your level matters, because some people think, why do I need to know? I just want to learn.
And that's a fair point. You don't need to know your exact level to learn.
But knowing your level helps you choose the right material. If you're A2 and you try to watch movies without subtitles, you'll understand nothing and feel terrible.
Which we talked about in our last episode.
Exactly. But if you know you're A2, you can choose content that's right for that level, and you'll make progress much faster.
And knowing your weak skills helps you focus your practice. If your speaking is much lower than your reading, you know where to put your time.
Instead of spending all your time on reading, which is already comfortable, and avoiding speaking, which is the problem.
Which is what most people do. We go to our comfortable skills and avoid the uncomfortable ones.
And then we wonder why our weak skills stay weak.
The mystery of the permanently weak speaking skill.
Not so mysterious when you think about it.
Okay, so to bring this together, what do we actually know about English levels?
Your level is not one fixed number. It's different for reading, writing, listening, and speaking.
It changes depending on the situation. Topic, speed, accent, stress level, all of these affect your level in the moment.
Most people either underestimate or overestimate themselves, and both are normal.
And the most accurate picture of your level comes from real situations, not just tests, not just comfortable practice at home.
Real conversations, real content, real pressure.
And whatever level you're at right now, that's your starting point, not your ending point.
There's always a next level, and you can always get there.
Always.
Okay, this is the part I mentioned at the beginning, the simple 5-minute thing.
And I tried this, and it was surprisingly accurate.
So here it is. Find a short text in English, a news article, a blog post, anything. Not too long, maybe 2 or 3 paragraphs.
Read it out loud, to yourself, or record yourself reading it.
And then, without looking at the text, try to explain in English what it was about. Just talk, like you're telling a friend what you just read.
And notice two things. First, how many words from the text did you remember and understand? Second, how easy or hard was it to explain it in your own words?
If it felt very hard to understand and very hard to explain, you're probably at A1 or A2. If you understood most of it but struggled to explain it smoothly, probably B1. If you understood it well and could explain it without too much trouble, B2 or above.
No test, no money, no app. Just you, a text, and 5 minutes.
And it gives you a real picture because it tests reading and speaking at the same time.
Which is exactly what real life does.
That was the tip I promised at the beginning. I hope it was worth waiting for.
I think it was. And listeners, don't forget our word from today.
Accurate. Know your accurate level. Not the level you hope you are, not the level you're afraid you are, the real one.
Because knowing the truth helps you move forward much faster than guessing.
Find your accurate level and then work from there.
All right, one question before we go.
What do you think your current English level is? And what skill do you think is your weakest? Reading, writing, listening, or speaking?
Write it in the comments. Be honest. And remember, whatever your level is today, it's not where you'll be in 6 months.
Keep going. You're already doing something right. You're here, listening to English right now.
And that counts more than you think. If this episode was useful, please like it, share it, and subscribe.
Take care, everybody. See you in the next episode.
Bye. Go try that 5-minute test. We want to know how it goes.